Hey, Bogdan Rzysky here. Welcome to another video where we show you how to use AI as your personal math tutor. So in this video, we're going to use as an example exponential function strand, and we'll begin with the following statement. You create a project inside GPT, and the project is called, for the purpose of this video, exponential functions. I call it for students because I'm using it as an example, so I know which project to use for this video. So in this session, we will do integer exponent rules, but before we dive into the session, we want to make sure that you have added file to the project to keep the same consistent context throughout the entire unit of study. So as an example, I have included the following file, the entire chapter on exponential functions that we will be using for creating videos on exponential functions for this particular course. So that's the one contextual data. Then we use also the curriculum and expectations, and the expectations are added here only refer to the section on exponential functions. So there's no other unnecessary data involved here, just consistent language that is lined up with the textbook because it's from the same jurisdictions. So curriculum also part of that. And the behavior for the machine, the most important, I would say, the skeleton of the file, where you have the prompt that you will start a conversation with ChatGPT. You also have your profile, which is not your personal data by any measure. This is about you, about your learning preferences, the needs that you have, etc. So you're going to list that and keep it for as long as you need. If you need to make changes, you will make changes. The prompt ladder, also we talked about it in the previous videos, that you, depending on the level of your engagement or understanding of certain topics, you can either start from the beginning or at the last stage where you just doing the review of your work and you don't need further explanation. One topic, one chat. So this is sort of locks in the behavior for the AI so that it doesn't sort of start taking over the session. So this is like you have a full control of that. And this is that file which is added with the other three files inside the project. Okay, now the session number 2 has also attached files. So the files that we attached here for the purpose of this exercise, integer exponent example. So let's say those are your notes from your classroom. You may have your notes, you may have your own work so that the AI is learning the language, the method that you're using that is applicable to your personal needs. So you may include that. And I have also included a sample of solutions of those 2 questions. From question 18, I did part A and B, and I wanted to share with ChatGPT to verify if my work is correct as far as question A and B is done. And I include the image of question 18, where supposedly this is the homework, and we will go over a question number 18F. So you start your conversation with that prompt. So you're creating a condition. You're saying that the machine is your learning assistant, etc. You have a copy of that prompt available, so no problem. And AI begins responding. So in this case, you can see it is in thinking mode. It was thinking for 21 seconds and then restates the task, also restates the assumptions before it moves on to the next step. So check your work so far for A and B because I did submit my work for, so the AI sort of took that upon itself and verify my work for part A and part B. So no issue found so far. It verifies that I simplified, and it also does the sanity checks. For example, the AI was instructed to also do that at each step, and it picks random numbers for value of X and R and verifies that that application of exponent rules does work in this particular case. So because the question 18 has parts A, B, C, D, etc., so it moved on into part C without me clarifying that, because I didn't specifically say in the beginning that we will be going over part A, B, and then F. So it jumped into part C, which is fine. And please note that part B and part C in the same question, which is taken from the textbook, they are identical questions. So the ChatGPT does not necessarily recognize that this is the same work, because the machine does not think the way a human being would think. So it proceeded to part C without even confirming that this is exactly the same as part B. So that's a side note. But I correct the behavior of the AI and I say my homework assignment is to complete 18A, B, and then F, so that I'm putting back on track the way I want it, because I'm in charge, I'm in control of the process. All right, so the AI goes back to the assumptions, because that's the required behavior, clarifying the questions, etc. And it says, I respond to this conversation by saying, all answers are to be expected with positive exponents only. And I say, I do not understand the hint, because for part 18F, the ChatGPT started giving me a hint. So in many different situations, you may not understand exactly what the ChatGPT, how the ChatGPT responds. So I pretended that I didn't have any idea what it said. That's why I responded to ChatGPT with a comment that I do not understand your hint. I'm not sure what are you asking me to do. So it returns with the process. It says, okay, this is the assumption that we made. This is what I'm asking you to do. Gives me a hint with the application of rules of exponent. The 1 over x to the power of m is equal x to negative m. So it sort of leads me through the process. And now it asks me to take turn, write the expression after making that one substitutions. And it wants me to explain back into sentences, but I have forgone that request. I shared my work, because this is a beautiful case where you actually can see that you can work with your questions on your own terms, with your own speed, and then you share and you have a conversation back and forth. So I have included my work. So I copied question 18F, and I use the first rule where I distribute exponent 6 minus m to the base x to the power of 4 and to the base 3 inside the bracket. So I did that, and also I did separate variables. So variable from coefficient, so number 3 with this exponent, variable x with the second exponent, and that statement 1 over x to the power of m, I converted into an expression x to negative m, as it was hinted in the conversation just above. Now I said, I understand your hint. Using the negative exponent rule, I have completed the next step, verify if this is correct. So the machine, as it is programmed, for this particular conversation to come back with stating assumption and restating what I wrote, and then confirms that this is correct. So, and then quick sanity check the machine does for itself by using randomly selected numbers, and verifies the equivalency between the expressions, and it says it matches. So that reinsures, or this is the feedback that yes, you are on the right track and we are moving fine. Next hint, one step. So this is the program that was assigned. If you have assigned a different behavior, the AI would not follow my set of steps, it would follow yours. So just point of clarification, the way you assign how the AI should be responding to you, it is customizable. So you do the way it works for you. And it says explain back in 2 sentences because I wanted that in the beginning, but I didn't care to explain that in 2 sentences. I just went down and further simplified my work. And I'm asking if this is correct because I'm in this stage, let's say as a student, that I can kind of handle that question with some hints, but maybe not 100% confidence. And I want to be a very active learner. So I said, I did take the next step. I simplified the exponents, and I'm asking the AI to check my work. So it returns with the assumptions, right? Checking my steps, and it says small notation fix. So this is the situation where you probably have experience already at some point when learning mathematics. Sometimes the letter X and the variable X is misunderstood. Sometimes it may stand for multiplication, sometimes it just represents a variable. So that's why AI is not sure about that, my way of writing things. So this is why it goes back to me and talks about the expression, the way it is written, it's not clear. And I'm just pushing back. I say, I do not know how to explain that. I need to learn other method because I'm confused, let's say, about how the AI is responding to me, and I need to see a possible different method. So religiously, the machine comes back with assumptions, correction, tell it like it is. And it says that there is no really a different method. It's just fundamentally the method is just one when it comes to rules of exponent. So it just rephrases it that my work becomes like so if I were to write in form of a fraction. So 3 to that exponent divided by x to the power of n. However, it also gives me a chance to explain back into sentences because that was the assigned behavior. And at this point, I don't need to do that necessarily. You may, but I have chosen not to do this. I said, I have used other approach to solve these questions. I'm using the rule that was shared with me, and I'm sharing my work with the AI. And as usually, the AI comes back with the assumption, right, verifying my work. And it says my second step is almost correct, but one slip in the numerator. So it corrects me, and I should have shown the following statement according to AI. And it also explained the division process, etc. So it is very descriptive. It is actually the way the AI can be utilized because it is a tool. It really can help you to master your skills, to dive as deep as you need when you're learning mathematics. I understand this is a very simplified question and that doesn't require a lot of conceptual theory behind it, but the importance of this message for you is to show you that you can create and design the behavior of AI when learning mathematics according to your needs. So, and I push back here because it tries to tell me that technically I was correct, but the way I was writing the question may be not clearly understood. And I say, I had it correct in the first place. Why are you correcting my steps? And the machine says, yes, you are right. Your math was correct. So this is what I needed. I needed to see what happens if you disagree. And you have to be always in charge of the process of learning. So the conversation, the way you lead the conversation is actually your choice. The way you communicate with the AI is actually your personal way. So no one else can tell you, talk to the machine using this language. We can give you sort of the framework, the general idea, but you personalize this experience for your own need. And I'm sharing, in the end, there's my work right here on the screen, you can see, and I say I have used the exponent rule. When dividing the same bases, I subtract the exponents, so therefore this is my answer. So the AI comes back. One issue, it highlights positive exponent requirements, because I said in the very beginning of the conversation that we will be using positive exponents, but the machine understood this in a different way, because it wanted it to show, instead of 24 minus 5m, so the AI, the way it was trained, it is convinced to say that when the exponent is 24 minus 5m, I'm running or I'm breaking the rule of positive exponent, which in my mind, I don't, because I understand that. So even though the AI suggests me to use with negative exponent, so then my variable 5m comes first with positive sign. So this is sort of the cosmetic change that the AI wants me to utilize here, but I push back and I don't want to do that, because I understand in this particular case, it doesn't really matter. We don't have any prior knowledge. What is the value of m? What is the value of other exponent variable n or r, etc.? So that's why, to me, I understand 6 minus m and 24 minus 5m can be negative, but we don't know unless we have the knowledge, particular knowledge about the value of n. So there was a back and forth conversation, but I don't want the machine to sort of insist on showing their way. So I just say, we stop right here. So the question is done. I know that my mathematical process is correct, and I don't want to continue this conversation forever. So I just command AI to stop, and then responded to stop. So hopefully this video gave you the sort of taste and the idea how to use your AI, the tool that you want to utilize for your own needs when learning mathematics. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.